going to get the raw, uncut version of my life. 17 years old, I'm about to graduate high school. And I have to make a decision if I'm going to go to college or not. So I don't want to go to college, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I have people telling me I should be an electrician, an engineer. I'm thinking electrical engineering, or I'm thinking something in filmmaking because I'm doing that. But I really have no idea how I'm actually going to make money. I have no monetization plan. I don't even understand what money is. Up until this point, the only way I've ever made money in my life is mowing lawns, taking photos, and lifeguarding. That's it. Past that point, I have no actual usable skills, and I'm 17 years old, which I don't think anyone should have an enormous amount of skills. I meet this guy named John Senecal. John Senecal goes ahead and he starts feeding me books, self-help books, personal development books, what I call now the foundation of life. If you haven't done this phase of your life, then you're forever going to be stuck in the machine of society. You will not think for yourself. You will not act for yourself. You will have no control over your actual environment, no control over your future, because you don't know how to take yourself away from the literal programming you've been conditioned to over your life. The first book is The Compound Effect, then Magic of Thinking Big, then Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, then Rich Dad Poor Dad, then The 10X Rule, then The Go-Giver, and the list goes on. 150 books later, and then 180 podcasts later as well, which are thousands of hours of listening. While that summer is going on and the next year is going on, I'm just doing everything I can to secure my mindset, my foundation, and to be unbreakable. The idea was, if I don't break the chain of the foundation, this foundation will literally be the most sturdy thing I can sit on, and nothing can affect me. But I go to college, and I have the worst year of my life, the most severe depression I had ever experienced in my life. My whole foundation vanished the second I touched college. I was not ready for the real world, and the real world wasn't ready for me, because I thought that I was this cool little cocky fucking narcissistic egotist that was better than everyone, that could walk around with his dick swinging and you could get whatever you wanted. And I had no taste of understanding what humans were really like outside of my high school. So I go to the actual real world, and I get flattened, I get steamrolled, I get absolutely annihilated. I date this girl, and it becomes a huge mess because I'm half in, half out of the relationship. My focus is making money, but I have so many other things in college going on. I'm starting to adapt habits that I've never had in my life. I start drinking, things that I would never allow myself or tolerate prior to this moment. This girl is in my life, and I'm not respecting the relationship whatsoever. I am on dating apps, I'm swiping on Tinder, I'm fucking other girls, the whole entire situation that you could possibly imagine. There was nothing in my mind I wanted to be with this girl, because I wasn't ready for it. I had other things in my life I was trying to achieve. So this comes back to bite me, because this drama with this girl ends up extrapolating to all my friends that I have, and all of the livelihood that I have at school. And it brings me to such a dark place, to the point where I don't even want to talk about it. But that period of my life ends when I decide to stop going to college. And this girl and I, by this point, had broken up maybe 24 times. So I told her that I'm never going to see her again. I'm going to go back to New York, she's going to go back to college, and we're just going to be done. What ends up happening is I come up with a brilliant idea as I'm taking my car and pulling it out of the parking lot of her lake house, which is 4 hours from my house. And she says, "Why don't you come to Savannah with me?" Now, meanwhile, I'm driving. I'm about to drive 4 hours home, and she's at her lake house, and I'm saying goodbye forever. This is the goodbye speech that everyone gets so sad about in the movies, except the second I'm pulling away, I'm like, what if I just go with you? What if I actually just go to Savannah with you, and I don't take classes? Or what if I actually take some classes, and I enroll in the classes, and I just show up, and we go? But then the problem is, school starts in a week. So I have no time to prepare. This is last minute. My parents don't know how the funds are going to work. And by the way, this is one of the most expensive art schools in America. So it's not just a thing you wake up and you say, I'm going to do this tomorrow. There has to be preparation. But my life typically goes in the fashion of there's no preparation for anything. So I end up going to Savannah last minute. I have no housing. So I take all the money that is in my bank account and I just start throwing it at things. Throwing at different placements on Facebook, trying to get an apartment. And what ends up happening is I end up getting scammed out of $10,000. I break up with that girl. I become homeless for a while. And this was all in the span of 1 month. Hurricane Ian hits Savannah. I just get my tire in my car blows out. It's just like my bike gets all screwed up. There's some guy is trying to like have sex with me. It's like this whole entire situation is going completely wrong. I come back to New York to recuperate with less than $50 to my name. And this is the very first time I've lost everything. I've just completely depleted everything I have. I'm not making any money. I have no company. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna start a company. I partner up with this guy named Owen, and Owen shows me what a lead list is, which is essentially a list of names, emails, addresses of business owners or YouTubers or whatever. You can have a lead list of anything. It's just a demographic of a niche or a target audience, and you just get their information. And somebody scrapes the leads, they give it to you, you contact the leads, and then you close the deal. So that's the idea. I had no service to offer. I had no idea what I was doing. Owen gives me this list. It's 75 people long. I contact all of them, and one of them responds and actually decides to work with me. That's my very first client. A week later, I have 5 clients, and this is all through cold email. I have now virtual assistants that are sending emails. I'm sending emails. I have friends from school sending emails. It's a whole entire process, and I feel like a baller, an actual baller, because I'm making real money, and I stack up maybe 6-7 grand in the bank. I'm feeling good. I'm back. I am back. Then I ended up blowing all the money because I thought the clients were going to stay because they were on monthly retainers of $2,000 a month. But all of them leave. Every single one of them leaves. I don't have enough value to add to them. The churn is terrible, meaning they literally all leave collectively. It's like they all had a meeting and said, let's not pay Alex anymore. So my business goes from successful, $6,000 a month, to nothing. And instead of fixing the problem and actually repairing the business, what ends up happening is I end up leaving. I just go back to community college. I say I'm going to restart my life. I'm partying every weekend. I'm literally driving 1.5 hours in the middle of the winter with snow, ice, and just crap ass weather to party, to try to clear out my mind. And I have nothing. I have literally nothing. But I had started this thing called a Facebook group a long time ago, a really long time ago, during the spot where I was starting my marketing agency. And this thing was slowly gaining traction because Facebook was just organically pushing it. I had no control over it. I didn't even want it to be promoted. I didn't know what to do with it. I had just started it with my friend because he said I should start one, and I didn't know what a community was. And I mean, thousands of people are pouring into this thing. Anyway, spontaneously, I realized that, again, I do this multiple times in my life. My life's not going the direction I want. I can make an immediate change to fix it. We're gonna do an immediate switch. I'm gonna do a switch up. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be an actual legitimate switch up. So my friend on the way to the gym says we should move to Florida. And I'm like, yeah, why don't we move to Florida? But I'm like, when are we gonna move to Florida? This is just a brand new idea, which we always come up with. And I'm thinking maybe in a year or 2 years or 3 years, if I'm really prepared, I'll move to Florida. What ends up happening is 3 days later, I am in Florida. I spontaneously called the dean of my college. I told all my teachers I'm leaving for Florida. I had a meeting to see if I could switch all my classes to being online. I had no money, absolutely no money. I had less than $100. I left for Florida. I couldn't even afford pre-workout, creatine, or protein. And that was the most exciting thing I was thinking about while I was on the drive to Florida. If I could afford those 3 things, I was in a good spot in life. Well, I spent my last dollar on Burger King getting to Florida. I arrive in Florida and I have no money. So John goes ahead and he starts to finance my car. He spends $1,200 for me to get a car. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I like the car. It works, it functions, and I slowly pay that off using 3 jobs. One is a bartending job, one is a serving job, and the other one is a serving job as well. And this is like a very exhausting phase of my life because while this is happening, I'm also trying to do other things like businesses. So one of the endeavors I'm going off on is solar. I'm trying to resell solar. I say resell because I've done this before. I've actually tried to sell solar prior in my life. And I was trained, and this company was gonna train me, and they were gonna allow me to sell solar. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that was going on. And then we had clear kayak tours, meaning the bottom of a kayak was cleared out, and in the middle of the night, you're gonna just putter around and you're gonna watch sharks and fish and all the cool things that you see, which was a very amazing experience, and I got to do it and get paid for it, except I never got paid. I never actually got money for that. So there's clear kayak tours, there's the solar, and then I'm also getting my real estate license. Every 3rd person in Florida has the real estate license. While I'm working these 3 jobs, I'm burnt out. I'm done. Like, I can't function. I have no motivation, nothing. Again, I travel back to New York. New York's my safe ground. This is where I'm born and raised. So every time I get into a bad situation, I just go back to New York, I figure it out, and I come back into whatever environment I'm ready for. So I go back to New York, I think about it, I quit all my jobs, and I'm like, screw this, I'm gonna do something now. I had this Facebook group. In this Facebook group, by this point, I had 3,000 people in it. And my idea was I'm going to host a live event where everyone pays $5 for admission, and I'm just going to talk about business, social media, and all the things that I've been studying about for the last 3 years. 5 people show up. I made $25 on that event, and I had done promo for maybe 2 weeks, and I really spent my time and energy onto this presentation. But it opened the floodgate because I then knew that people would buy education. This was my first step into the education business. After that point, I had the next several weeks. And this is where my story goes off the fucking charts and off the rails. I realize that I can make money because I have that lead list from the very beginning of the story. This lead list, I'm going to resell to all these bunch of people, and I'm going to partner with them on a business opportunity because this is the only thing I could offer people. I'm going to sell them the list. They're going to reach out to other people. I'm going to show them how to reach out to it, what email scripts to use, how to call people, what to say, like all the things that would actually get them on a calendar. I'm going to go on the calendar. I'm going to close them. I'm going to get their contact information. They're going to be my client, and I'm going to fulfill. I'm going to make them thumbnails. This is a list of YouTubers, of the biggest YouTubers known to man. So a bunch of people start reaching out to guys. I get one guy to respond to me, Chad Zuber, who has 2 million followers on YouTube. And I realize that this is pretty easy. So I start selling this list. I tell people, this is my sales pitch. Hey bro, I spent $300 on it, or this is a $600 list. I'll go halves with you. I'll spend 300, you spend 300. The problem is I lie to people. I never spent any money on the list. I got the list for free. The list was paid for by Owen in the very beginning of the story. But it was a selling point because otherwise people were like, well, what are you investing? Not knowing that I could just say like, I'm going to do this service and you have to pay for the list. And this is what I'm going to charge you. I just didn't know how to do it. Back then I was like literally whatever. I go to Savannah, back to Savannah where I ruined my life, back with the girl who ruined my life. And we're getting back together. We're rekindling the fire. And I tell her my plan. This is how I'm making money. And I got like $2,000 in the bank. And I'm like, dude, this is sick. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? You're taking advantage of young kids who are naive and stupid. Like, what are you doing? And people had said, oh, you scam people a while ago, like just making jokes, but this was real because I really, really trust this girl's opinion. So I go up to the room, my bedroom that I'm sleeping in, which is her bedroom, and I start crying. I'm in tears. I don't know what to do. I have literally done a bunch of stuff. I've failed 8 different businesses. I published 4 books to Amazon. I've read all these books. I've tried all these things. I made so much content. It's stupid. I feel like a failure. I dropped out of college 2 times, and I'm literally 19 years old. I haven't really traveled. I haven't done anything with my life. And then I realize it hits me. I'm gonna start a business, and it's gonna be called The First Client. I go on to GoDaddy. I type in thefirstclient.com. It's available. I buy it for $36 for 3 years. I now own thefirstclient.com. I then go ahead and make my social media pages. I make the business legit. I go onto Google sites. I make a Google site. I start plastering these guys' face, the people that I was scamming, their face onto this website to show that I had students. This is a student. That's a student. That's a student. I contacted all the students. I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna teach you guys now, and this is gonna be a legitimate thing. And you're gonna start your own business. But I didn't know what they were gonna start. I didn't know what they were gonna do. But the cool thing is, this business would go on to do $70,000 in sales, and the feeling of going from broke, nothing, shit ass car, 2003 Ford Explorer that barely even fucking works, and no money in the bank account, and you're literally just like desperate for anything, to traveling the entire fucking planet, going to Las Vegas, Colorado, Paris, Nashville, Tennessee, Savannah, Georgia, all over Florida, Miami, West Palm, Palm Beach, Sarasota, Tampa, freaking everything you've ever heard of. I'm going to San Diego next week. The week after that, I'm going to Phoenix. It's like Toronto. Everything you've ever dreamed about, having $10K in the bank account, bought this car in cash. This car that I'm sitting in is $5,000 bought in cash from that business. All of that happened from selling education. And the part that I want to start digging into is what does that feel like? Because, dude, your life fucking changes. I went from doing a $10 Planet Fitness membership to a $40 a month LA Fitness membership, which LA Fitness has all the amenities in the world. A swimming pool, a hot tub, a sauna, the cycling room, the yoga, Pilates studio, the freaking weight room, the second floor. Like, it is a club. It's a real club. They have a basketball court. And I feel like I'm a part of something. And I can afford a certain lifestyle that I like. By the way, the pre-workout, the creatine, the protein, dude, I'm buying fucking tons of it. I got fucking 3 bottles of pre-workout sitting in the back of my car. Protein up the ass. Creatine like you couldn't imagine. And that was like what I would say is a unit of success for me. because I work out all the time. But the craziest part is I'm working out. I'll be in between sets and I'll be texting people and then they'll send me $200, boom. And then I'll text another person, $200, boom. And I'm working out and I'm working out. And just the feeling of you doing your life while you're getting paid. You're free to do your thing whenever you want to. I'm waking up at noon some days. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. some days. I'm waking up at fucking 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter. I hop on calls. I close deals. There's been a lot of times where I'll take calls and I'll walk outside of LA Fitness and I'll take a call. And all of a sudden I close a deal for $400 and I'll go back inside. I'll be like, hey, listen, I'm going to go outside. Call a guy, close him $400, boom, goes inside. And the training is good and good. Every single Wednesday, we have a weekly call with all the students. It's called the Social Club. People are talking to each other. They're doing sales calls. This thing is getting freaking dialed. So I think to myself, okay, we're going to take this thing to the next level. I'm going to get everybody, I'm going to round them all up. We're going to start a mega company. Every one of my students that are really successful, I'm going to make you guys a board of directors. I'm going to have a CFO, a CMO. I'm going to make this thing a fucking legit company. You guys are all starting agencies. We're going to have the agency. It's going to be called Real Media Solutions. I'm going to bring that back from the dead and we're going to start it and we're going to blow it up into the stratosphere. But I need some money first. I did this massive presentation. I spent hours on it, pitching everybody how it was going to work, how the company was going to make money. It was an incredible play. Like, genuinely, this is the smartest thing I've ever thought about in my entire life. And then I made $10,000 in one day. The most amount of money I'd ever made and ever seen enter my bank account in one day. $5,000 here, $2,500 over here, $1,500 over here, $300 here, $10,000 in one day. And I'm now 20 years old. And I'm like, dude, this is fucked. So that company dissolves itself in a month. But, and it's because internal problems, just people weren't working properly. The people that didn't invest money, they weren't taking it seriously. The people that did invest were getting angry at the people that weren't investing. And then there was a whole thing. But during that process, our idea was we're going to get 135 setters, 135 closers. We're going to get 135 people to do development work, website design, because we're going to offer website services and social media services. And so we ended up getting 2 clients. The first client paid us $1,500 in full, which was crazy. I had actually never found somebody to do that. And it was like, oh shit, like it's just, and at this point, dude, I'm making so much money. I'm like, fuck it. I don't care. $1,500, boom, right in the bank account. I get another client who sold a fashion company, and she has a creatine gummy for women. And this is the craziest product I had ever seen in my life. I love this. This tastes good. It is healthy. It has 5 ingredients. The owner of the company is beautiful, gorgeous, happy soul. And I want this deal. I want this deal bad. And I offered her, I think, $2,000 and she didn't want to do it. I talked her down to $500 and I'm going to get her 1 million views. She sends me the $500 after some back and forth emails. I drive across the state of Florida with Parker, one of my students, who I flew to see us. Drove him across to West Palm Beach, which is where the headquarters is. It's in Palm Beach. And we start filming content. It's called Booty Bites. And my goal is to get interviews, live interviews with the hottest girls to rate this gummy. And this is where everything just blows up. I'm making a lot of money. I'm talking to the hottest girls. I'm traveling like fucking crazy. I'm going to West Palm Beach, then I go back over to Sarasota. And every single night for an entire 14 days while my students are here in Florida with me, we go to a brand new city. Sarasota, St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater. We're going to everything you've ever heard of. Back to West Palm Beach. We're going everywhere. Miami. And it's getting unhinged, bro. Like, my life is like, oh my God, this is incredible. Then Parker and I, the guy who went to West Palm Beach, and I say, let's just travel America. Like, I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I have nothing else. Let's just get in the car and go. This car. So we get in my car and he flies home and he says, I can't do it. I can't go to America, bro. I can't do this. This trip's way too long. It's going to kill me. Okay, bro, don't worry about it. But maybe we could do it one day, maybe next year. One day later, I booked him a plane ticket. I said, hey, Parker, I'm sorry to do this to you, bro, but your flight leaves at 6 a.m. Get on the plane. He gets on the plane, flies. I pick him up in Tampa, and then we drive back to Miami. And we spend a week in Miami, dropping off one of my friends to his apartment, and then I go back to Ellington, which is where we lived, and we start the trip. We go to Savannah, Georgia, then we go to Oxford, Mississippi, and then we go to Milledgeville, then we go to Oxford, Mississippi, then we go to Salome, Arkansas, then we go to Oklahoma City, we go to Amarillo, Texas, we go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, we go to Sedona, Arizona, the Grand Canyon, and we're just flinging states, bro. We're gonna do a whole U around America. And in the Grand Canyon, Parker breaks his foot. So I look at Google just to see how far it would be to travel back, because we had been spending like 2 weeks getting to the Grand Canyon. It was 1 day and 17 hours of driving, or 7 hours. It's like so much freaking road. And I don't like know if my car's going to make it, to be honest. So I go to, we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is where Breaking Bad is filmed. Yes, I saw all the Breaking Bad stuff. They have everything you've ever heard about that is Breaking Bad oriented. And I don't think that the people there actually like to talk about Breaking Bad, because that's the only thing the town's known for. And the crime rate is pretty high. So I get an oil change and we head back, and we finish the trip. And then I look at my bank account and I'm back to zero. I had gone from $10,000, height of my life, cranking and flying and flinging educational products just left and right, boom, 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 back to zero. This is not my second time draining it down to zero. And I don't know what to do. I get to this point and I'm like, I don't know what to do, son. How are we gonna break free? How are we gonna get to the next freaking level? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I don't know what I can do. But during my traveling, while I was doing this America thing, the week before I did the America thing, I actually met a girl on a beach, just randomly. While I was doing the Booty Bite interviews, I was going up to girls, hey, you want to be in this interview? You want us to film? You want to film content? Da, 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 da. Not sexual content, just regular content. And I meet this girl. Her name, I'm not going to disclose. And I'm sitting down and I'm like, dude, she's cute. She's really cute. And I'm confident, dude. Like I'm flinging money like I can't believe, and I'm in a lifestyle that I'm really happy with. And I'm just talking, I'm chit-chatting. We go into the ocean. I've known this girl for maybe 25 minutes and we start making out. And I'm like, okay, solid. Let's keep this thing going. But she lives in Nashville and she's training to be like a registered nurse at this time. And I'm like, okay, well, one of two things can happen. Either A, she disappears and I never say hi to her ever again, or I follow her to Nashville, because that's the logical thing that any human being would ever do. So I just booked my first plane ticket, go straight to Nashville, but I didn't tell her that I was actually 20. She thought I was 21 because I told her I was 21, and I lied to her because I wanted to sleep with her and hang out with her, all that kind of stuff. Pretty shitty thing to do, to be honest. She kicks me out. I have to live in a hotel for a few days, wait for my flight back. That was kind of a depressing experience. But during that time, I told God, I was like, God, what is next? I'm happy to be here, and I think that this is incredible, and I'm doing things I've never thought were even possible. What is next? And God shows me while I'm walking through Nashville, Savannah trolley tours, Savannah candy store. And I'm like, Savannah, I need to go back to Savannah. I'm going back to college. That's the only logical thing we can do. So I go across America. I come back. I have no money. And I literally made a video at a grocery store, like what to do, how to buy food with $100. The $100 my mom gave me, because I literally had gone to zero. I had literally just drained it all. And I slowly started closing some deals, getting up to like the $1,000, $2,000 mark. And I'm like, I'm going back to college. So I call the people and I start the brand new next semester. This is what I do. I always do this. I go back to New York, I recuperate, and then I come back to Florida. The day I hit Florida, I literally jump in my car and I drive 6 hours. I pack everything up in my car and I just drive 6 hours up to Savannah. And I'm back at SCAD. This is round 2, baby. We are back at SCAD, round 2, back in college. This is going to be the best experience of my life. And for 20 weeks I party, for 20 weeks I club. I'm freaking going ham. School's going great. I'm losing all my money again. I'm back to zero. And then one of my students, Tyler, he comes back to Savannah. And this is the craziest part. So I had that huge rip all the way up to 10K in my bank. That's about to happen again, but this time it's going to get even crazier. I'm hanging out with Tyler and we're partying like fucking animals, bro. I'm going to Daytona Beach. I'm just doing whatever. Every single weekend, it's like whatever. I don't care. Charleston, freaking Hilton Head. And we're going boom, boom, boom. And we're trying to make money, but it's like whatever. I don't really care. Like, I know that I could do it if I wanted to, but I'm not doing it because I don't really want to. So Tyler has this long-winded conversation with me, with another one of our friends in one of the classrooms, and says basically like, you need to shut everything off. Shut it all down and make money. Because if you don't make money, your life's going to fucking hit. You're going to have all this debt from school. You're going to have all these loans to pay. And your life is going to fall apart instantly. You got another couple years of school. You have to finance that somehow. Get ahead. So I'm like, all right, bet. Then I start doing my outreach again. I showed Tyler because he's getting angry with me. He's like, dude, I've been here for several weeks and we have made nothing. We have not made a single freaking dollar. And you've been telling me we're going to make money. I'm like, dude, we're going to make money. Don't worry. But we haven't made money. We haven't done anything, actually. So I start showing him how to do outreach. I'm like, all right, fine. You want to see how easy it is? You want to see how fucking easy it is? I haven't made money in a long time, since all the way back when I was across America. And this has been months, like 10 weeks. I open up Facebook Messenger. I'm like, dude, this is what you got to do. Just go here, go onto the voice note. Hey, yo, what's up, bro? Like, you want to get your first client in less than 30 days? If you don't get your client in less than 30 days, I'm going to give you a full refund plus $300 for wasting your time. Thanks. Boom. Within 15 minutes, somebody sends me $250. And I look at Tyler, I'm like, dude, look at that. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah. That guy, we had a meeting. He never showed up to the meeting at all. So I told him, I was like, dude, I will coach you, but you need to send me another $250 because you can't waste my time. Boom. Next day, he sends me another $250. Now we're up $500. And I'm like, okay. Deals are fucking slinging. They're flinging. 400 comes in, 300, 200, 600, all deals, all educational deals or website deals. And it's getting rowdy because the bank account goes from less than $1,000 and I'm going boom, 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 boom. And this is the craziest story I've ever had in my life. I'm at a club. I'm just clubbing with my friend Tyler. We're hanging out. Boom, boom, boom. And he feels sick, so he goes to the bathroom. And I've never been in the bathroom with a guy. It's a single stall, but I felt like I needed it to protect him. He goes in there and he starts throwing up blood. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck? But I have to pee. So I start peeing while he's throwing up blood. And I drop my phone in the toilet because I'm distracted trying to help him while I'm peeing, while he's throwing up blood. And then I start peeing on my phone and I freak out. I pull out my phone and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? He's drained and I'm tired. And it's like, I'm freaking out. So we go out and we sit down and that's it. We're just really tired. But what ended up happening was this random guy who I texted 6 months ago when I first had that first rip up to the top, that guy was like, I don't care how much it is. Just send me a Stripe link. I'm going to pay it right now. I'm like, what the fuck? That's never happened. I sent him a Stripe link for $300. And then all of a sudden, a deal that I was trying to close like a couple days ago for $500, boom, that hits. $500. Whoa, that was crazy. $300. Boom. We just made $800 and I'm at the club. I've never had this much energy in my entire life. I grabbed Tyler and viscerally, Tyler, what the fuck, bro? We made $800 in one fucking day. And he's like, and then all of a sudden, dude, we just look at each other and we're just, and the rest of the night is going crazy. And it was insane. And over the next 3 weeks, I go on to do $8,000 in sales. $8,000 in pure profit. And my bank account's back to $8,000. And then I'm like, all right, we're back. I'm back, bro. I've done this twice now. Let's go. So I'm back and I'm like, all right, what could get to the next level? And then this guy had requested a huge project. And I'm like, dude, I'll do it, but we got to do $1,000. We did $1,000 and now I'm up to $8,000. And I texted him. I was in class and I felt really bad because I'm like, I just don't have the budget to finish this project. I didn't ask him for money. I'm like, dude, look, we can do this, but we can't do that. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, what? And he just zells me another $1,500. And I'm like, whoa. And then he's like, don't worry, dude. We got like another 1,000 in the tank. And I'm like, that is my first client that's actually paid me $5,000 as lifetime value. Holy shit. Anyway, bank account's back up to $10,000 and I'm ripping, but some altercations happened. I'm not going to get into that in this video. That'll be another video. I drop out of college again. So I've dropped out of college now for 3 times. I'm back in New York. I'm literally sitting in a parking lot in New York recuperating, except my recuperating is me going from Las Vegas to Colorado, going to San Diego, then I'm going to Phoenix, and then guess what? I'm flying over to Paris. So you guys are catching me on the up and up, but I wanted to give this little 30-minute talk so you guys can understand my story, understand who I am, and understand that your life can change in a matter of minutes. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.